the 24th of August. Great. Okay, nearly there over on YouTube. Yeah, get those questions in, please, in the chat, if you will. And I'm just muting YouTube now, so we don't have to hear everything twice. That's fantastic. Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Dream Team session here from Expats Portugal. We've got the Queen of the Visas, Gilda, with us, and Nuno of Insurance, the very least, and others will be joining us in due course, I'm sure. Gilda, how are you? I noticed a very beautiful picture of you and some colleagues on social media just recently. It looked like you were going to a festa or even a fashion show, actually. It's just another day at work, wasn't it?
Yes, we are always on party, and we are always, well, as you know, we are only girls, so it's always a fashion show.
Okay.
In our office.
Yes, Portugal Fashion Week every day to the offices.
At A's office. At
A's office there. And there's your email address, should anybody need it, gilda.pereira@amigrante.pt. And any news then? Of course, we keep saying, don't we, in this August, and next week, will we still be in August? I think, yes, we will, won't we? The quiet month, allegedly, in Portugal. Is anything happening of note, Gilda?
Not really, except that everything is going slower. And I must say that we are having a lot of problems with the NIVs and with the social security numbers,
right?
And people are a bit anxious about it.
Okay,
but it's just because there are less people working. So this means that the time for getting the NIVs has increased during this period. I hope that in September it has come to normal.
Okay, and less people because of August, or less people just generally issuing these in finances?
Because of August.
Because of August, okay. Yeah. All right, thank you for that clarification. A little bump in the road that I'm sure you'll overcome as things crank back into action. I do have a question for you. Live on air, I think last week, we discovered, didn't we, that there was a new leader for CEF. I have two questions. The first being, is he going to be the leader until it's disbanded in the autumn? And will there be a new leader from there on in? Or is this the new guy for the foreseeable future, generally speaking, at the steering wheel of CEF?
We don't know. That was not clarified, but what makes sense is that he should be the person to make the transaction and then to stay in the new organization.
Yeah, and he took over from somebody, didn't he, who oversaw the papal visit, the big news and the big influx of people coming in for the papal visit, who I think handed over the baton to the new Senor Batista in his new role. And is there a name change for CEF? I thought it was going to be APMA. Is that still the case? Because I was seeing acronyms that sound like it's going to be called AIMA.
As far as I know, it's APMA.
APMA, okay. So we'll still keep our eye out for.
But CEF, you know, at some APMA. Point, I just stopped
waiting for the reality rather than the rest. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I can completely understand that. But we will keep an eye on it here every week and keep you up to date with the latest of what's going on, notwithstanding the big holiday season here in Portugal, which is for another week, I noticed from the calendar. So thank you, Gilda, Queen of the Visas. We do have questions already coming in. So I'll come back to you after we've said good evening to Nuno and Jerry and Jackie, of course, here from the Expats Portugal team. Nuno first, how are you? How's Lisbon this afternoon and evening, Nuno?
Hello, good evening, everyone. So today we can breathe in Lisbon, finally.
Good for you.
Finally, because this past 4 days, even during the night, it was hot. So to sleep only with air conditioner or something similar. Otherwise, it was hard. So today is the first night at this hour that it's coming a breeze from the window. So
Sounds
yeah,
lovely. Sounds
yeah,
like G&T weather on the terrace there. No. I discovered there is a Portuguese gin. This country is full of surprises, and they come pretty much every day. A Miki, I think, is the name of the Portuguese gin made here in Portugal. Incredible. Do you know something about that, Nuno? You look like you were going to add something.
not about that specific brand, but I know a place in Alentejo, which is dedicated to gin. It's an amazing place. I need to search about it to tell you where it is.
Thank
But
you.
it's
That'd be
amazing.
great.
It's
Yes.
amazing. With small lakes and small bridges, so it's open air.
And a gin distillery to boot. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Only gin.
This is the Dream Team session. If your dream is to drink a G&T in Portugal when you get here, it sounds like we've got some great purveyors and providers of such a spirit. So glad you can
show mine? Can I show my gin?
That's brought all the gin drinkers out. Jackie, yes, come on.
I'm sorry, my husband's grabbing it. Yes, I got some amazing pink Portuguese gin.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to show. Can you see it? Oh,
just about. Yeah, that very pink for sure. And is that a presentation pack of some sort?
No, that's my
gin. The
bottle?
Oh, I can see it now. Yes, it is a very unusual bottle, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a birthday gift, and it is pink premium, and it's made in Alentejo.
It's got Gilda's attention. She's leaned right in. Okay. I was thinking, do I mention gin or not here? It's like, yes, it's massively popular, obviously. Thank you.
Gin.
Yes, thank you, Jackie. Is it in Portugal? Is there a special way to have it? Obviously, apart from taking a lemon direct from the tree, and you got to make sure you got plenty of gelo in the freezer. Are there any other Portuguese twists that you have for your G&T? That was for you, Jackie.
Oh, it was for me. I thought it was for Gilda. Hi, Gilda. Actually, I just make it. I use regular Tanqueray.
Yeah.
Then I use like a splash of Schweppes gin and tonic, lime, and then I put the pink on top, so it looks like the pink is melting down into the gin. It's a beautiful drink, and it's so delicious.
Jackie. All right.
That's the way I do it.
All right, I will finish the gin bit saying drink responsibly, everybody. Okay, thank you very much for that little bit of input there, Jackie. Are you well this evening?
I have my gin.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, that's a silly question.
I'm great.
And thank you, Jackie. And as I mentioned before, Jerry celebrating 13,000 members over on Expats Portugal, who are all able to contribute to the incredible resource that the forum and all other parts, all of the other firing cylinders of Expats Portugal. A good day.
Well, yeah, no, really good day. I wonder when we'll get to 20,000 now, of course. But I have another milestone to mention. I had the great pleasure of meeting Gilda last week in her lovely new office in Lisbon. Beautiful, beautiful office, and I'm very jealous. I've never had the luxury of working in such a nice place. So well done, Gilda. Really, really nice office.
Yep. So are you more used to shipping yards, Jerry, from your previous?
Yeah, containers and.
Thank you, Jerry. But you are very welcome. You have a room to stay there and to work from there. You are already invited.
I'm never mind working from there, Gilda. I'm thinking of moving in to live there.
With a G&T, with G&T supplied by Jackie.
Yes, great.
You will always have a bottle of gin.
Incredible. That's my idea of hot desking. Fantastic.
Great.
So there you go. You've got an office to use there, Jerry, in the capital. Great news. Cheers, Jerry. Okay, let's get underway with some questions then. Patrick and Barbara are here. 85 degrees in Detroit, S in Los Angeles, and David in San Antonio, Texas, where it's been 100 and plus for nearly 2 months. I don't know how you cope with that. Ohio, a nice mild 26 right now from Tom Smith, expecting strong thunderstorms tonight. And we had those last night too, says Tom. Good evening to you all. And we'll go to Patrick and Barbara's question. When exactly do you need to have the funds in a Portuguese bank? Before you apply to the consulate or before the CEF appointment? And when can you begin to use the funds? Is a great question from Patrick and Barbara for you, Gilda.
I would love to answer that question, but I'm not going to answer because you prefer vodka and tonic.
Who said that? I didn't say I didn't say that. Who's told you that?
They
did. Oh, I see. Not me. Sorry, I thought you were having a go at me. It's like if it's not the sardines or not drinking, it's vodka and tonic. But not me on this occasion. It's Patrick and Barbara. So
Yes.
sorry about that, Patrick and Barbara. Let's go on to Linda's question.
No, okay. Okay, so you need to have that the amount of money when you apply to the consulate, because when you are going to the consulate, you need to show the bank statement on the Portuguese bank account. Okay, then when you apply to the consulate, you need to show that you have enough money to sustain yourself in Portugal for 2 years. Okay, but when you go to the self-appointment, you can show that you can only you only need to show that you have money for 1 year, because they will understand that you needed to withdraw money and had the expenses to for a house, for the furniture, for many things. So they will accept 1 year, the money for 1 year each. Okay, so it's half the money. Half the money that you show in the consulate is what you will need to show to the SEF.
Okay.
In your bank
there you go.
account.
I hope that's everything, and that sorts
And
it out.
that is a great question, because this is something that has changed recently at SEF.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for prompting that, Patrick and Barbara. If you need to know any more, do let us know. We are prioritizing the folks over here on Zoom, and to take advantage of that privilege, become a premium member. If you want to do that tonight, Jerry's obviously keeping an eye on the email. If anyone signs up tonight, we will know, and we can celebrate you doing that this evening. Linda, thanks, Patrick and Barbara, for that. Thank you, Gilda, for your answer. And from Linda, it's a hi, everyone, including Gilda and Nuno, from Derek and Linda in hot Lagos this evening. David is looking to move to Portugal on a D8 visa. I'm not sure when I should start the process. How far out should I start? Also, does EI do the migration process from beginning to end? I guess it depends on what you call the end. That's a great little question in its own right, isn't it? But starting the process, how far out should that be done for the D8, please, Gilda?
6 months before you pretend to move.
Okay, very straightforward there. Thank you. Is that
Yes,
Mandela barking in
yes.
the background? Okay, he's clearly okay. And do you do the migration process from beginning to end? I would say yes, including the
course, it's a
transition to
yes.
Casa Portuguesa, of course, where you found people accommodation either to rent or to buy, right through to that moment when they open the front door and find a bottle of wine on the countertop. So right from the word go, thinking about moving to Portugal, starting the process and celebrating your first days here. You've got it all covered, right, Gilda?
Everything. And then after 5 years, you can come and we'll help you.
You're born again.
Yeah.
Born again Portuguese with your Portuguese birth certificate. We love that idea.
And we can celebrate.
Yes, with guess what? Okay, cheers, David, for that question. Phyllis, South Florida, stormy and 93 Fahrenheit over there. Good evening to you, Phyllis. Do you have any questions for us? And Nuno, you've got the name of the distillery in the Alentejo. Do you want to tell us more about that? We need you.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say to you is that it really is an amazing place.
Yes.
And my question to Jacqueline is if the gene that she has, if it calls Thursday, because when I searched for this distillery, I found a Portuguese gene which name is Thursday Love. Today is Thursday, so
Wow.
Thursday Love. So I don't know if is this one that Jacqueline
Is it
likes.
like Quinta Amor? Is that the
Yes.
the translation?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Who loves the Thursday? Okay, we'll find out tonight. Thank you very much for that, Nuno. And of course, it gives you a great chance to go and visit the magnificent Alentejo district area of Portugal, of course. Welcome to the Dream Team Gin special this evening. Although vodka and tonics are better, say Patrick and Barbara, of course. I heard that if you blow a fan across a pad, where are we going with this, Tom Smith? I heard that if you blow a fan across a pad soaked in water, you'll get cooler air from the evaporated water. Well, I think everyone in these hot countries is trying any possible thing. If that works, if anyone can let us know if they try that tonight, if it works, we will validate that live on air tonight. Pedder's here. Hejfra, Wales. I don't know how to say that. Pen Blöd Hapush I David Iwan. Ima Ohid. What does that mean, Pedder? And have I made a massive? Am I speaking Welsh even worse than I speak Portuguese with that? Marcy, Moss, good. Hello, Gilda. Could you verify the amount needed for the Portuguese bank account for the D8 when you apply?
Well, according to the law, you don't need a Portuguese bank account to apply for the D8. But some people prefer to do it because they want a strong case, or they want to show a stronger case. If you want to do that, and also because some consulates are so attached to the procedures of the D7. They also asked for a bank account, and then we need to reply them back and say there is no need to a bank account, and then we lose some days or sometimes week just because of that. So if you want to go with the bank account, I would say that the minimum would be the same as for the D7, 24 Portuguese minimum wages.
Okay.
If you want a straightforward process.
And this is a sign of the times as well, isn't it, Gilda? We're seeing more of this. And of course, you err on the side of caution. You'd rather be safe than sorry. And things have changed in that regard, haven't they? People were just taking the law at face value. And these days, you need to be a little bit more careful and a little bit better prepared, perhaps.
Yes, of course. If I have a client that tells me, Gilda, I don't want to open a bank account, I say, okay, law is on your side. And I have to prepare the client for the battle that he or she might has to face.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
But it's an option.
All right. Patrick and Barbara have delivered some attenuating circumstances about their antipathy towards gin. Actually allergic. So I think you can let them off on this occasion, Gilda, and show a little bit of forgiveness.
I don't think no one is allergic to gin. Maybe they are allergic to tonic.
Down. She's doubling down. That's amazing. Rather than, yeah, fair enough. Like, no. No. Okay, Marcy says, thanks very much. We need to see a medical certificate from you, please. Patrick and Barbara were stating the allergy there. For Gilda, only kidding, by the way. Steve Hilson is asking for you, Gilda, due to the long delays at the San Francisco consulate. Yes, we've heard about this already this evening. Should I use the 2024 minimum wage to calculate the financial requirements of the D8, including the extra bank account? That's a record pause there, I think, Gilda. Are you considering the question?
We don't know what is going to be the minimum wage in 2024.
Okay. Yes, that is true, isn't it? And if it's going to go up, it will be known what on the 1st.
Steve, when are you going to apply?
Yes, good question. Okay. Yes, that's why there was the pause. There was a lateral look at that question there from Gilda. Thank you for doing that, Gilda. Pedder, the first part is Norsk. Oh, okay. So speaking to me in Norsk and Welsh, 100% for the effort. Thank you very much.
I don't know. Peter, how many
Pedder,
language?
Pedder. Yes.
How many language do you speak?
He's going to be adding Portuguese to it soon, and allergic to the evergreens. For the last time, please, can you show some forgiveness, Gilda? Allergic
Yes,
to the
okay, I'll
evergreens.
forgive you.
All right, especially juniper berries. That's fair enough. Okay, we're going over to YouTube now, and you are clear, Patrick and Barbara, as far as I'm concerned. Vicky,
But can you drink the Portuguese drinks?
But yes, if they don't have juniper berries and evergreens in them. You seem especially concerned about this.
What about wines?
Okay, we'll try them all. Is that a good enough effort for you?
Okay.
She's letting you off. Okay. If and when you become the president of Portugal, will you show a similar?
I like that.
Yeah, I like that idea too. And you'll show a similar level of toughness, is what I'm going to call it, upon people who want to call themselves Portuguese.
Of course.
Okay, Vicky Mohammed over on YouTube. Hola from beautiful Lisbon. How are you, Vicky? And Joanna A. Hi, I'm a resident in Portugal based on a D7 visa. Good evening to you, Joanna. When I have to renew my TRC in 2 years, if I don't have any more the passive income needed from outside Portugal, is it possible to switch to another residency type if I have active income generated in Portugal by being employed or self-employed? That's an interesting switch, isn't it? And there's a supplementary question, but let's do that bit first. Can that happen for people?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
But they are not going to switch anything. You just need to show them that you have money in your bank account, and you don't need to explain where the money is coming from. You just need to show that you are able to sustain yourself in Portugal, that you don't have any debts with the Portuguese tax authorities or Social Security, and that you are still having a property or a rental agreement, someplace that you live at, and they will leave you alone.
There you go. There's a great solution, Joanna A. That's why she's the queen of the visas. And is it possible to switch to another residency upon renewal without losing the 2 years? Clearly, Gilda doesn't think you need to do that. But the question was...
Yeah, you don't need to switch. They will renew it, and then you will have 3 years, and you will not lose the first 2 years.
It doesn't turn back the clock. There you go, Joanna. Nubianette, good evening to you. I want to drink G&T. I had no idea gin was going to be so popular tonight. I want to drink G&T anywhere in Portugal. Alentejo, great, but anywhere, says Nubianette. Welcome to you, Square Eyes. Hope you are connected in the way you want to be tonight. And Simone, good evening to you. Hello to you, Simone. Great to see you here. And Capricorn Chris as well. Capricorn 12 is in the house. He says, hey.
Capricorn, where were you? Where were you last week when I was in Portugal?
And clearly tonight, she's not taking any prisoners. Don't be messing about with your answer tonight, Chris. Where were you when you were supposed to be meeting? Look at her face. When you were supposed to be meeting Gilda in Portugal last week. Better be a good excuse or reason. And Nubianette, still not letting Patrick and Barbara off this. Not all gin has juniper berries. Leave them alone, for goodness sakes. Okay, back to Steve Hilson on Zoom. I am working on a rental lease now and hope to apply. Let me start that again. I'm working on a rental lease now and hope to apply ASAP, but I don't yet see San Francisco VFS appointments before January 2024. What's happening with San Francisco, Gilda? What's the problem here?
It's not a problem. Many Americans want to come. It's very good.
Look, I love your reframing of things. Okay, but how's that going to help Steve in this particular instance?
Oh, Steve, there are 2 things that you can do. You wait for January, or you go every day to see if people give up, because I have many clients that stay there to see if there are people that give up and they find some vacancies like that. Okay,
so you could just shelve it, basically park it up until January, or keep looking and seeing if there's an appointment that comes up through a cancellation.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Any more questions for the Queen of the Visas? Pop them in the chat here if you're over here on Zoom, and in the YouTube chat. No message from Chris as yet, I don't think. Yes, ask your questions, please, in either of the respective chats. What we didn't ask you, Nunu, we found out that it was cooler in Lisbon, but is there an update from the world of insurance? Anything to report? Or is it the same story, quiet in August? No news is good news.
Oh, the August is not being quiet for us. A lot of work. So at all, no quiet. About the world of insurance, there are no news. Nevertheless, I noticed that two things. People that are in the process of coming, most all of them has a misunderstanding about what is the waiting period. And the people that are and how it works, and people that are in Portugal for almost a year or more start thinking as Portuguese. So they are looking to their insurance policies, and they are just going to the internet and they start quote. They don't do questions, they just look to the cost and bam. The reason why we don't have any quoter on our social media or website is because the quote is only about numbers, only that. What rules the insurance policy, which is a contract, so it's a contract, basically this, it is the wording or the full terms. So, or you are available to go deep on the wordings of each insurer, and you know what is written there, because sometimes we need to read one, two, three, 4 times, and even reading we need to ask to the insurer about clarifications, and sometimes we ask for clarifications, we request clarifications, and the insurer replied to us, oh, we don't know, we need to talk with the compliance, with the legal, or with the technical people. So it's not a straightforward issue. So before going to the internet and quote by yourself, please try to understand what you already have and what you are looking for and what you are getting when you are quoting. Okay,
and you're happy to help people with that, aren't you, Nunu? I mean,
the alternative is calling us, and we do a fair, because we represent all of the main insurers in the Portuguese market. So for us, is the one that you choose. We don't represent. We don't defend one brand. We always give our fair opinion. So if you want, give us a call, and we will assist you during that journey.
And go through that small print, the all-important terms and conditions.
Yes.
Can you give me a worst case scenario here? And it was interesting, you made the comparison that a lot of Portuguese people might go on price alone. What might happen with that, of course, is that they're not getting the cover they want if they're just thinking about price, buying online. They don't know what the T's and C's are. What can happen in a worst case scenario when somebody buys online just on price? What could go wrong?
We don't need even to start talking and bothering people about the technical stuff of insurance. Just a simple example on the health insurance. In Portugal, there are one exception, but all of other insurers in the Portuguese market, Allianz, Médis, Multicare, Fidelidade, Tranquilidade, so on, all of them can cancel the insurance policy on the annual renewal date. And to someone that has 20, 30, 40 years old, okay, they can play with the health, they can plan, okay, and take the risk. But when we enter in the 50s and for sure on the 60s, we don't want to play with the health, because tomorrow I could have something and I need the insurance and I have no insurance. So
let me get this straight. You want just one exception is the company you can work with that will not have that happen, the cancellation of the policy.
Yeah, we work with all of them. So
Yes.
but there are only one, yeah, that cannot do that.
Right. Okay. And why are they different? Have they just decided to differentiate themselves in the marketplace like that?
No, it's because they are their conception is not focused on the business, because they are a mutual insurer. So all the money that they collect through insurance premiums is to pay claims and to pay their structure. So their personnel, the electricity, the office, and so on.
Oh, it's a mutual society rather than
Yes.
a shareholders who need to be paid
Yeah.
off with dividends. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for that, Nuno. So yeah, it's worth not only don't go on price. Have a chat with Nuno's English-speaking team. Incidentally, everyone in the office there will be happy to chat with you and talk you through the proposition you have in front of you. And I think we've got a satisfied customer here who says simply, "Winsurance covers car insurance in Portugal." That's either a statement of a happy customer or asking a question. Do you do car insurance in Portugal?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
All kind of insurance, even the most strange ones. So yeah.
For example?
Oh, for example, we insure once a Russian performance that this is for it's about publicity. What is the name? Advertising. It's for advertising film, and she did parkour on the top of a Moreiras building in Lisbon.
Wow.
And there are no Portuguese insurer insures this, and we insure her on the London market. So where everyone insure strange things or risky things. Yeah.
Incredible. As a regular webinar presenter, could I insure my face, or does that be too expensive?
In your case, maybe the voice will be my recommendation.
Cheers, Nuno. I'll be in touch in the morning. Fantastic. Let's go back to Gilda then. I have the same issue as Steve, says David, Gilda, but with the Washington, D.C. consulate. If I choose to hire your team to get my and my wife's visas done, do you have an inside track with the consulate, or do you also suffer with the long waiting times? What's your strategy there, Gilda?
David, I can go to jail if I have
yes, there is that. There's no insurance against that, Nuno. So
if I have an inside track with the consulate, that's called corruption.
That's called against the law, basically, David. So
no, I can. It's going to be the same suffering with the time waiting. But it's going to be holding hands suffering, because you are going to be with me and my team, and we are going to be and you are going to be together addressing the issues and trying to find the vacancies and writing to the consulate if the visa doesn't come on time, and writing to the Foreign Affairs Minister if the visa doesn't come on time. And what can I say? That Washington, D.C. is not such a bad consulate, and things are more organized than in San Francisco. I'm sorry to tell this for people that belong to the San Francisco jurisdiction.
And in that sense, that's the inside track, isn't it? Is knowing what's going on from the point of view of working with thousands of people. So when someone does it for themselves, they're up against a massive learning curve and a massive mystery, whereas EI have worked with thousands of people and their work is based on the experience of working with thousands of people very successfully with a high success rate. So there you go, David. I'm sure that answers your question.
Yes, and I have for instance, Vancouver was taking like 4 months, 5 months for a visa to be approved. It was something like crazy. And today we got a visa approved in 5 weeks.
Great. Excellent to hear. Okay.
We were really, really happy.
Yeah. And Vicky's chimed in here. Just let the AEI team do it all. They take all the stress away. So there you go, David. That's a good reason to work with Gilda and team. Chris, by the way, he was quite quiet, but he said he was working when he was supposed to be meeting you in Portugal. But we'll come to your office in Lisbon to say, hey, that's if he's still welcome after blowing you out, of course.
Of course.
Okay, there you go, Chris. You're excused. Okay, back to the Zoom chat.
I'm waiting to meet Chris since the beginning of the show, since 2020.
See, you've not actually met before.
Never.
Incredible. Okay, incredible. So you'll get to see the marvelous new office as well there, Chris, when you pop to Lisbon. Just a gentle reminder, this is for EPHQ, for Expats Portugal. Just a gentle reminder, how are we doing with organising a vet to appear? And this was likely and possibly to be your favourite vet who might come and speak to us about the what it's like to be a vet in Portugal, what people can expect when they bring their animals to Portugal.
Oh, yeah, it was, it's my fault. I was to introduce Mandela's pets.
Okay.
So she can come in and talk here about it.
That will be quite the evening, wouldn't it, if we have a webinar with Mandela's personal vet? I mean, are there any other team members he could bring along that evening? There's the B&B that he stays at. There's his vet. Are there any other professionals we can have on a webinar organized in association with Mandela?
No, but I think that her vet, yeah, she's a good friend of mine, and she's very she's a very wise person, and she also takes care of many pets of my clients. So she's a very well prepared person, and
probably very busy. So it'll be quite the thing to tie her down for a webinar. But I'm sure we're working on that. Did you unmute to speak to that, Jerry?
Yes, Gilda, you're very gracious in saying it was your fault. It's my fault too. We should have mentioned it last week when we met. I forgot all about it. So if you can let me know, we'll get things organised. Okay.
There you go, Pedro. The vet special in association with Mandela Pereira. How is he, by the way? We haven't had our Mandela moment tonight.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's now resting in the sofa.
Okay,
right
with
now.
Dennis over there. Okay. How did you go with negotiating with Dennis about his part in?
No, nothing. He never asked for anything.
Back down. Okay, fantastic. All right. Great testimonial for you, Nuno. My husband and I have worked with insurance, and we highly recommend Elena and Camilla, who guided us through the process and answered all our questions on both travel insurance and MGen health insurance. So if you don't mind passing that on tomorrow to Elena and Camilla, that would be great there, Nuno. And I'm on the VFS website for San Francisco, says S. Is short stay visa, Schengen visa, the option? This is like S is using us like a live helpline tonight, actually on the VFS website. Is short stay visa, Schengen visa, the option I would select when applying for the D7 visa? I'm not applying yet, but just wanted to keep an eye on when the appointments are available. Thank you. Bit of reconnaissance. Is that the right selection to make there, Gilda?
No.
S, let the professionals do it. Go on, tell us more, Gilda.
No, it's not. It has to be the D. It depends on the website. I don't recall, but it has to be the D or the D option or the long stay or the
short stay would be. Yeah, short stay would be for tourists, wouldn't it?
For some websites would be the D option. For the other websites would be the long stay option. And I think that's it. That's the two options.
Okay, there you go.
For the D7.
And the third option is to get in touch with the A office tomorrow and let them handle that for you, S. Chris is causing trouble here with two words that strike fear into my heart: fried sardines. Actually grilled, Chris. Don't be causing trouble.
Yeah, fried, no.
Okay, Natalie, hello. I went to CEF asking them to correct the wrong place of birth on my residency card. This is from Natalie, and they told me it was the consulate's mistake, not ours. But now I'm a resident. Now not sure what to do. Any ideas for Natalie there?
It's not true, because it's CEF fault. Because what is on the card, it's what's field on when you go to CEF. And they have to check what is on the passport and what is filled on the form of CEF.
Yeah.
So when they issue the card, it's whatever is on the residency card, it's CEF responsibility, not the consulate responsibility.
Okay, but what to do about that? Wrong place of birth on the residency card, is it that important?
No, it's not that important, but I think that you should write to CEF, explain the situation, so that one day if you have a problem, you say, I went there,
Yeah,
and I tried to write them.
Yeah.
And I think you should try to have another appointment to correct the data on your residency card.
So at least try and have the famous Portuguese paper trail to back up your
Exactly.
actions. There you go. There you go, Natalie. Let us know if we can do anything else for you. And S is saying, yeah, I'm going to use A when ready to apply. I didn't think this was the correct option, but there wasn't another option to choose from. So there you go. You can expect a call.
Yeah, it's because there aren't other vacancies available.
Okay, there you go, S. Oh yeah, because there isn't any availability.
Yeah.
And your fan club are here. Just let A team do it all. They take all the stress away. Is what Vicky said. Mo says, use A, Gilda. Seamless. Thank you, Gilda. And Jim Jones saying, got my resident card last month. Thanks to Gilda and A. So some great news and wonderful testimonials for you there, Gilda. Okay, great.
Cute, so cute, so
Keep
cute.
those questions coming. Let's not suddenly pile in with loads of questions at 5 minutes to. There is space to take more questions in the Zoom chat, which will be prioritized, of course. And any other questions that we have on YouTube, we'll squeeze in as many. But it does help if you ask them now. Talking of quiet or not Augusts, it was an interesting news day on Monday, Gilda, when the president left for Poland on his way to Ukraine, where he's been, and sent a message to the prime minister. Basically left a note on the prime minister's desk almost with his announcement about his lack of support for Mais Habitation. What do you make of it? Is that how it normally works? The president will leave a note of that kind, putting the prime minister in his place. And what do you make of the comments he made on Monday?
Carl, I'm not Daniel. Don't put me in this situation.
Okay, so
because I'm not a polite person as Daniel is.
Well, that's why I'm asking you in a way. From what we know, the president is, he can't change these laws, can he? But he can be publicly available or publicly declare that he's not supporting them. The Portuguese word is promulgate, isn't it? Or the translation of the Portuguese word is promulgate. He refused to do so, which has been some good news. I had a conversation with Jason Swan of Holborn Assets this afternoon, and there will be an upcoming webinar about the grace period that's been given as a result of the president's reaction to the prime minister's policies. 45 more days. There's a stay of execution, isn't there, for these policies? In your not as polite as Daniel kind of way, do you want to make a comment, Gilda? No. Is really enjoying this, I think, tonight.
Okay, I think that, no, trying to be serious, but I think that these people are a bit crazy, and we are talking about foreign investment.
Yeah.
And when they play with these kind of scenes, they take credibility away from the investors.
Yeah, well said.
And I think that's what they are doing.
And when you say these people, you're talking about the parliament.
Yeah, the parliament and the president and
the prime minister, not the president, presumably.
No, the prime minister and the president, because they're, it's like a joke.
Right.
What they are doing.
Oh, okay. So you see it as a kind of role play. I mean, from my point of view as a foreigner, I'm thinking the president is making his feelings heard and pushing back against what he thinks is the point you make, that how this doesn't reflect Portugal terribly well in the global setting. Is it just posturing and sort of pantomime almost then?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Is it? Do you think it's just game playing? It's not a profound or serious challenge to what the government have put forward with the housing crisis?
It's a bit of a game playing, and I don't think that it doesn't has anything to do the housing problem. It doesn't have anything to do with the golden visa.
Right. Political gameplay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Nuno, I don't know if you have a comment. I know equally you have a reluctance to want to go into this area of politics, but is there anything you want to add to the conversation and the president's move on Monday?
Unfortunately, we don't have people with long views. All of them think on the short term and on the next political cycle. And this is why we are always reformulating politics.
Yeah. Okay. And why there's such a cynicism, perhaps, among the population here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carl,
Right.
Carl,
Yeah, go on, Jerry. Go ahead.
Sorry, just to jump in here. We next week's 7:30 p.m. webinar will feature Daniel. We'll be talking about this subject in detail.
Yes, alongside Holborn Assets, right, and Daniel.
Alongside Holborn Assets, yes.
Yes. And yes, I think Daniel will be a little bit more ready to share his views on the matter. And I totally respect and understand your positions, Gilda and Nuno, on this. Tom Smith, we go to. Does the A website have the new Lisbon address? I see an opportunity for some YouTube content, having a race from the airport to the A offices using different forms of public transportation in Lisbon, like Top Gear. Yeah, can we get to see the office at all, Gilda? It does sound very photogenic and might be fantastic if you are making videos or Instagram reels for this.
What does he mean about YouTube content having a race from the airports to a office?
I think he's just suggesting perhaps it would make some very good YouTube video.
Tom, when are you coming?
What's the quickest way the second you land, the plane lands, what is the quickest way to your office? That's what he means, Gilda.
So you take the subway. It's really close.
I think what Tom's also suggesting is that maybe various people get in different forms of transport. There's somebody on a bicycle. There's somebody on one of those hireable scooters.
Tom, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Let's make that.
And also the A people carrier, which I think is also available at times as well, isn't it? That makes the journey from that would be a cracking video, wouldn't it? A video from the dashboard, which I think, strictly speaking, you're not allowed to do by law, but a dash cam video of the journey from the happy arrival at Lisbon Airport, where we see Jerry pouring you a glass of champagne.
Of course,
you get in, of course, then into the A minibus, and the journey into and taking into account and photographing the beautiful view of Lisbon, and up the elevator and your view across Lisbon, Gilda.
Oh, let me tell you something about the elevator.
Okay.
You don't know about this. So to go to my garage in the new office, I need to go into an elevator, a car elevator.
Really?
Yes, and then it goes like 4 floors down.
Yes.
And it took me like a week to find courage to do that.
That's extraordinary, isn't it? The Portuguese are incredible with their car parks, and you're telling us now that you have an elevator that you drive into, and it takes you down to Australia almost to park your vehicle.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So I did it the first day. It was okay. I did it. On the second day, okay, I did it. Today I was so confident. I smashed my car into the elevator.
Oh dear, okay. And the reason for this, the elevator, is presumably to stop you having to drive around a helter-skelter of really tight lanes. And now it's automated. But still, you had the little scrape today by the sound of it. Okay,
on the third day, 3 days, 3 days, and I smashed my car into the elevator.
Nunu can help you.
It's too tight. It's
Nunu,
too tight.
I suspect Nunu can help you tomorrow with that claim, Gilda, or the contact details of a very good body shop. Gilda, thank you for sharing that, and a great idea, Tom. I think we should do that. That'd be a great idea to do, and a lot of fun to do as well. Peder, thank you guys. Look forward to it. I have questions to ask about, to ask the vet about what nasties my dogs might want to be protected against. They're not likely to meet in Britain. Not thinking rabies necessarily. I have several questions. However, I'm in particular thinking of the rather nasty little sandfly. The advice I read was to keep your dog indoors at night, wondering how the farmers in Portugal manage with their stock protection dogs, the Cão de Serra de Chela, rather pointless having them working dogs and keeping them indoors. Can you give Peder any insight into that? And Jackie might have something to say about this, but are there different kinds of inoculations or treatments that dogs need when you move to Portugal? Jackie, go on, go ahead.
Yeah, so we encountered that when we got here with our 2 dogs, and it's a standard vaccine, so you don't even have to worry about it. It's like a rabies vaccine, and I think my dogs get it every year. It's because when they're at the beach, there's something there, and most of us take our dogs to the beach at some point.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the sandfly that Peder's referring to, and we are aware of it, and there is a particular jab for that.
Yeah, and it's not a problem once they're vaccinated.
Yeah. The other thing to watch out for, of course, is the processionary caterpillar that sometimes dogs encounter, which can be a problem. But I mean, there's no inoculation against that. You just have to be careful with that. Any other things, Nuno, a cat owner, Gilda, a dog owner, any other things that you might want to warn people who are bringing their pets into the country? Let's start with you, Nuno.
Well, be aware that if you are walking your dog, you must have them on the leash every time. And if the dog has considered it a dangerous one, and this depends on the breed, but also on the previous acts of the dog, you should walk them with an ensign. I don't remember the name in English.
The muzzle.
Yes, muzzle. So only these 2 points.
Okay, that's going to be interesting.
And in Portugal, there are some parks special dedicated to walk your dog.
There are dog parks, so
they can play with other dogs there.
Yes, and the facilities are fantastic, aren't they? In some parks in Lisbon, special doggy parks. It's going to be interesting for Peder, of course, with his 15 dogs. All of them will need to be on a leash. Peder, thank you for that, Nuno. Anything else as a cat owner you might want to share with people? Of course, pet insurance. You do that, don't you?
Well, if you want, pet insurance. It will cover you the liability, and also the health care of the dog or the cat.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for that. You know where to go, Peder, for your pet insurance. He's got 15 dogs, as I understand it. Is there a bulk discount, or do you do like a pack discount for if you've got loads of dogs, or is it per pet?
I never had 15 dogs to insure, so from the same owner. So I have no idea.
A new case study there, Peder, if you get in touch with Nuno. Thanks for that, Nuno. Gilda, the dangerous dog breed that is the Tekel dog, Mandela, are there any special things that we should know about from your point of view as a dog owner?
No, I don't know. I will ask Nuno to make an insurance for Mandela.
Okay, a special one. All right.
Special one, because he's a special dog with special needs.
We know this. We know this only too well here. So thank you very much as pet owners. And yeah, we're working on it. The vet webinar, the Vetinar one evening, and we'll go in deep dive into that. Natalie with a quickie, do get your questions in now. Hi, Gilda, my papers and forms are correct, but they put everything same as my nationality. Is it possible to hire someone from your office to come with me to CEF because they're not taking me seriously? That's a great question, isn't it? So if somebody doesn't necessarily do the full visa process with you, can members of your team be hired to go along for strategic and specific meetings?
Of course.
Okay, great. All right. That's good to know. Just get in touch, Natalie, and then you'll have the A team with you. See what I did there? A team coming along with you. I've never thought of that before, Gilda, coming along with you to those strategic and special appointments. I think that's all of our questions, unless anybody wants to sneak a quickie in. Oh, yes, we've got Brendan with one of them. Is the Golden Visa program still available for expats? Pretty much, but time is running out. It's a stay of execution what happened this weekend, this week, basically. So tune in to next week's webinar to find out more from both Daniel and Holben.
Yes, talk to Daniel.
Daniel on that.
I don't want problems with the Golden Visa.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And Tom Smith's idea, Brendan loves that, minibus versus subway race. I think we do need somebody on one of those hireable scooters as well. Last special question. I saw a hilarious video. It's a compilation of the president's handshakes and greetings of people. And at the end of it, you've got Vladimir Zelensky looking quite worried about meeting the president of Portugal. Okay, so I'll send it to you, Nunu, and to Gilda or anybody else who wants it. What do you think is the strategy when encountering the president? And he basically pulls you across the room or gets you around the neck. And
have you seen with the players?
Yes, and young people, and and Donald Trump. He did it to Donald Trump as well, to the Prime Minister of India, to Modi. He was shaking his hand, which must have seemed like for half an hour with the Premier of India. What to do, Gilda? And we'll come to you last as Queen of the Visas to answer that question. But no, what would you do? Have you met the president? And if and when you do, how do you deal with that almighty handshake of his?
Oh, look, the president, and I'm not talking about on a political way, okay? Only about the person.
Let's keep off that. We'll keep off that.
Okay. So I consider him a very human person. And he has a human approach. So he has he took photos with the people. He gave kisses, and he is spreading his humanity.
Yes,
among everyone that he found. So in the streets. So it's usually we can see the president in the beach walking, and we are not aware that the safeguards, they will be there, but we are not aware of where they are, because we don't have all the pressure as there are on other countries. So he can put his inner self, and I think that he enjoys so much to be in touch, the human touch. And remember, we are Latin, so we like the human touch. Okay.
Yeah.
So shaking hands and give kisses and so on, it's a way of he manifestate himself.
Okay, I mean, but he is superhuman. Let's face it. When he gives you a handshake, thank you for that. Pedder's just saying, before we go to you finally, Gilda, and of course to Jerry and Jackie for forthcoming attractions. Pedder only has 10 dogs. Sorry to hear about losing one this week, Pedder, but only 10 now, and they're working dogs. So yeah, but still, it's a good reason to look forward to the vet special, and of course get in touch with Nunu about insurance. The president, Gilda, have you met the president? Have you had one of those handshakes?
Yes, I had.
Have you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I feel, because I know you, I've almost met the president now. How was it?
It was good. He has a very good energy, but I think that he's a little bit hyper. I don't know the word in English. Hyperactivity.
Hyperactive. Okay.
Yes. He sleeps very few hours. He eats very few. Very little, and he's like and I was with in a convention where he was like 1 month ago, and he was talking. His talking was a little bit confused. He was like and you could not follow a line there. So I think that he's a little bit That was the other. That was
Moscatel Actimel.
You see, so he tries to do a lot, but he needs to understand that he's getting old, and he needs to get a little more rest.
Don't we all, though, Gilda? Fair enough. Thank you very much for that. Antonio F., I've never met the president, but my wife and son did. Excellent. And Square Eye says, I've met Nelson Mandela. Very good handshake. I thought you meant Mandela, who gave you a nice little paw shake. I'm sure Mandela's got a great handshake, but Nelson Mandela does too, as well.
I wish I could.
Did, by the way. Yeah. Thank you very much, Square Eyes. Thank you to everybody for your excellent questions. Thank you for answering so brilliantly, Nunu and Gilda, tonight. Over to you, Jerry and Jackie, for any forthcoming attraction information, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Gilda. Thank you, Nuno. Just on the subject of the president greeting people, did anyone see how, I don't know if it was the chairman of the FA or the president of the FA, greeted the captain of the Spanish team when she won the World Cup? Did anybody see that? So I think probably there's nothing to worry about Portugal president.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. I'll have to look
next
that
week. Well, as we said already, next week on 7:30 we'll have Daniel and Jason from Holborn Assets, all about golden visas and the opportunities, this small window of opportunity that's still open. And of course, and then followed at 9 a.m. by our wonderful dream team.
See you then. Thank you very much, Jerry. Anything to add, Jackie?
No, thank you. Thank you to our dream team. And thank you, as always, for being brilliant.
Excellent. Do you have a catchphrase yet? Because Jerry does.
I should come up with one. Maybe you could help me.
Okay, yeah, we'll work on that. Jerry, in the meantime?
In the meantime, see you